How's everybody doing out there today? Well, I did make a video of the car before I took the tranny out. I ran it with open headers just to hear it, and boy, it sounded really nice. But I don't know what happened, but the video got messed up, so I could never load it. And I have a bunch of people inquiring about the car, and yes, it is still for sale as of, what is this, February, I don't know, 26 maybe? I don't know, it's Sunday, not sure the date. But anyways, the tranny's out, the new clutch pressure plate, throw-out bearing, I'll put a new pilot bearing in, of course, it's all sitting there. It's taking me forever to get the car done. And something else I noticed when I was in there is it had a really slight oil pan leak, so I didn't want to sell the car to anybody with an oil pan leak, because as you can see, it's seriously involved. You're supposed to pull the motor out, but with the tranny and the flywheel off, I actually lifted the engine up enough to squeeze the oil pan out, just so I can get it back in there okay without damaging the gasket. And if I have trouble, then I will just disconnect everything and pull the engine out so it's done right. But and this is really crazy too. It wasn't the pressure plate that froze. The tranny wouldn't come out. I mean, it like was stuck in there. And it rusted. As you see, there's still grease on there. But yet, I guess that cheap-ass Chinese throw-out bearing, and I imagine this Tremec's probably made in China too. I thought this was American-made, though. I'd have to look into that. You know what? Usually China stamps their name and everything. And I didn't see made in China anywhere on this, but I don't know why I thought the Tremec was made in the USA. But I'm not sure. But anyways, I know the clutch was Chinese. I put a much better one in it this time. I thought the last one was good, but apparently not. The throw-out bearing rusted to the collar here that the throw-out bearing slides on. And the pilot bearing, I'll use a bearing instead of a bushing, it was rusted to the nose, to the input shaft. Unbelievable. So that caused all this headache, and what a headache. So I finally put the turbo in this Subaru. This was my winter car. Drove it for about 500 miles. Everything was good, so I broke down. I put $500 worth of snow grippers on there. Took the summer tires off. The next day, the turbo burned out of it. So I emailed the company I bought the turbo from, bought it online, and I bought a good one. I bought a cheap $150 Chinese one first. It came, I looked at it, and I sent it back. So I spent a lot more money, like 5 times as much on a good turbo, direct replacement, and now it's burned up. And it lasted 800 miles, maybe 1,000 miles. So it's not like I have an oil problem, because then the turbo would have failed a lot sooner than that. So I finished that, so that added time to getting the Firebird done. It's been freaking cold as hell here for a while. That added time to the car getting done. But and today it's a little warmer, but this Ranger came in for state, and it has bad ball joints and the axle seals are blowed out. So that is what I'm going to do today. I started a couple hours ago to make this video, but one thing led to another, and the last thing I just did is my phone. The lens is broke. I stuck my hand in my pocket to get this camera out, and I moved my garage around a little bit too, and I bought this Icon toolbox, which was a little expensive, but a lot cheaper than my Snap-on one I have. So I could get all my tools off the ground and put away when I'm done. But look at this screen. It's broken. This is a Samsung A11. This is the biggest piece of shit freaking phone I ever had. The first day I had it, I gave it to my daughter and I asked her what I was doing wrong, texting it. She tried it, handed it back to me, said, "Oh, your phone doesn't work right." Changes the words, changes the letters. So I was going to take it back. Of course, I dropped it the next day. Broke the screen. So they're telling me that's why it's malfunctioning, even though it's not. But anyway, so I just stuck my hand in my pocket, and now I have glass jammed underneath my fingernail to where I can't get it out from this screen being broken. What was the chance of my finger just hitting that just right? Oh, so today's really sucking already, unfortunately. Try to be positive, but this shit fucks up. So now my Subaru needs a new turbo. Defective Chinese crappy ass metal rusted in the Firebird. My lens is broke on my phone, the screen, so now my finger has glass embedded into it. And we started the flood. That's why all this stuff is picked up, because of I was worried about if I was at work and the water came up too high. And I do live in a flood zone, but the 500-year flood level, whatever they want to call it, is right there in the corner of that garage. When I built this garage, I built it a foot higher, so you would think it wouldn't flood. But as you can see, we're at little kids' granddaughter's playhouse is, the wood that's up against it, but the water was all the way up to here. In fact, this here floated in, so the water came right to here, but luckily it stopped when all that snow melted. Oh, what a mess. Wife's away, so I have to clean all this crap up here soon. GTX was sleeping, but I put the battery on charge when the water started coming up to make sure this car would start, because I haven't started it since I put it away back whenever, November, October. I drove it up until the first time they salted the roads. But anyways, that's what's going on with the Firebird. Next weekend it's supposed to be nice, like into the 60s. So get the oil pan back on, get the tranny back in, and then get it running again. And once that's done, I'll finish putting the interior back together. But it's a nice car. The more I work on it, the more I want to keep it. But anyways, that's what's going on with the car. And somebody just I guess they emailed me and asked me about the car. I did try to email you back, and I don't know what's going on with my laptop, but it keeps coming up error, and that's why if I've not got back to you and you actually see this video, that is why. It's not that I was being rude and not returning your message. Anyways, thanks a lot. Figure out how to stop this thing again.